So it comes a point now they invest in digital advertising, and what most businesses say is that even after investing in digital advertising, they don't see a major shift when it comes to increased revenues or increased on return on investment. What do you make of this?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think it's something that has come up several times. Also, when I engage with brands, they tell me they have already been getting sales without digital. Now you're coming in as a consultant. What can we be able to get from you when you bring a consultant on board? But the thing is this: let us look at it this way. So you open up a shop, you have walk-ins. Then from walk-ins, you have retained customers. So we have customers now who are coming in from walk-ins, customers that you retain. So obviously, you'll be making sales, consistent sales, and even they will be growing at a certain percentage. But however, marketing comes in at a point of you want to scale. You want to attract customers from different demographics, not just where you are situated as a business. You want people to travel to come to you, get a service, or maybe buy a product. So now when you bring in marketing, it takes time. You have to understand that everything takes time. So we have a different kind of a funnel in marketing. We have the awareness, we have the education, we have the consideration, and then we have now the conversion stage. So for all those four stages, mostly there are three: awareness, education, and then conversion. But currently it's awareness, education, then consideration, and then conversion. For those four stages, it may take maybe 6 or 1 year, depending on what you're selling. Maybe if you're selling land, it may be maybe 6 months to 1 year. Maybe you're selling real estate, big houses in posh estates, maybe 1 year to 2 years. So in everything that you're doing in marketing, it takes time because you have to go through a funnel for you to start converting.
Today on Digital Today Convo, we are thrilled to host Muiru, a marketing strategist with a wealth of experience across top agencies like WPP, Harvest Media, and the KPI Institute. With a sharp focus on tactical media campaigns, media buying, SaaS sales, and partner management, Bernard has worked with big brands across retail, telecom, finance, healthcare, and more, from Safaricom and Reckitt to Sanofi and NCBA Bank. If you ever wondered how to measure marketing campaigns that actually moves the needle, this is the episode for you. Let's dive in. Alright, aside that said, in terms of how long it takes for businesses to actually see return on investment when they invest on digital ads, why is it important for businesses to measure digital marketing campaigns, especially for small businesses looking at the Kenyan market?
Yeah, good question. More so, you've mentioned the SMEs, and every coin counts for every business.
Yes.
When they put in a shilling in marketing, they would want to see what's the return on that. So measurement, it's very critical in making sure that in every step you are taking in marketing, you can be able to track back where you are and where you are going. So one thing is to test. So if maybe you did a video, you need to track how did the video perform versus a static post. What did you do on Meta? How did the Meta perform versus Google? Or maybe LinkedIn or any other platform like TikTok. So measurement comes in to measure the costings in terms of the money you're putting in, what we call the return on advertisement spend.
Yeah.
Then number 2, it comes in with measuring the platform, which platform is giving you more value than the other. Then it also comes in also to help you measure where are you getting more traction. Which kind of content is getting more traction? Is it video? Is it static? Is it a GIF? That kind of a thing. So measurement is very critical in every business. Maybe in terms of even testing assets, testing platforms, and of course understanding where every coin is going and what are you getting from every shilling. Yeah.
Okay. Looking at, of course, you're talking about understanding how different platforms work, testing. But is it really something that can work for SMEs? Because when you're talking about testing, the trials and errors, for SMEs, they're looking at, yes, I have like an ad spend, when it comes to digital advertising, anything below even 50,000 per month is regarded as, the bare minimum.
Sure.
So, assuming an SME has like even, I know many who do even 10,000 per month, how are they going to now really to uncover and understand which platforms work for them without having to go through the trials and errors?
Yeah, now that narrows down to the choice of platform. I've sat down with different SMEs that people trying to start a business, or maybe they're into business and they haven't invested into any kind of marketing. And we have what we call the algorithms that works different from different platforms. If today you open up a Facebook and you start just posting, selling your products, talking about what you do, unless you have a following or maybe you're sharing what you're doing, it will be so much hard to get any traction. But what I've been telling SMEs is just to measure, like check which platforms can give you more traction. And I've been calling out TikTok because the algorithm is different. You may have 5 followers, but your video where you're selling this class can reach to maybe 2,000 or 5,000.
Yeah.
So that could be one of the platform that you can go to with very minimal budget. But then again, every coin can give you something. I think a standard cost per follower on Facebook is about 1.5 to 2 shillings. So if you say I'm going to spend maybe 5,000 per month just for fans acquisition, maybe 5,000 just to post one post that did well organically, it can also do or rather bring in something. So I think it's to start small, and then number one is to get the platform that can give you traction without putting in money. I mentioned about TikTok, I mentioned about YouTube Shorts. Or number 2, being able to start small with the little that you have, 10K, 20K, whichever. Yeah.
Okay, makes a bit logic. So when it comes to now, you understand how you're going to go about your marketing campaigns. Now, how do small businesses, how are they able to set now KPIs? Because sometimes, yes, you want to invest in the digital advertising, and most are lost in terms of how do I now set the right KPIs for different objectives. So you want to run awareness, or you want to do lead generation or sales or conversions. How does a business set different proper KPIs for different objectives?
Good question. So I like the segment, awareness and maybe conversion. Those are the most popular ones. So mostly for awareness, you're looking at just engagement, you're looking for comments, you're looking for likes, you're looking for people maybe to follow you, maybe people to share your post. Those would be the normal KPIs, because those are just top of the funnel kind of metrics. And then on conversion, you're looking at a customer who came in and bought. So looking at what we call maybe cost per sale, if you have a website or you have an e-commerce. You're also looking at cost per conversion, or maybe you are selling land, so maybe someone filled in a form, so it became a lead. Then from the lead, you converted that person to buy.
To buy
the house, or maybe buy the land. So there are different metrics running through. So for awareness, we have what we call the CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. Those are the people, the eyeballs seeing the ads. And then of course we have the engagement rate, which is the general kind of likes, comments, and shares. People who engaged. Can be it's measured by percentage, 5% or 3%. I think the benchmark is about 5% or 3% to 5%. And then in terms of conversion, you're looking at CPA, cost per acquisition. Yeah.
Okay, so especially for SMEs, how do we really value the aspect of awareness as let's say when you're talking about looking at things like impressions, the reach, how can we really equate this to a return on investment? Because for them, mostly they are looking for sales. Or do we just say small businesses should just go for sales as an objective when they're running campaigns? Because when you're running, for small businesses, they're running a campaign based on awareness, then it's difficult for them to equate it to a success.
I think what I've seen, having worked with different brands in different markets, like for example in the US, you can't open a page today. There's nothing like reviews from customers. They won't buy if they're not reviews. Whereas in Kenya, you can open up a page today and boost it and get sales. I've seen also the mobile industry. Someone opens a shop, doesn't post anything, just post one post, boost it, and they are making a lot of sales by the end of the month. Because it's a good thing. Actually, I take it positively. People are not that keen to look at what have you been doing more before, go to your page, check the reviews and all that. We haven't reached there, but of course we are going there. But the SMEs can be able to skip that. Some do skip and it works for them. I've seen brands that have worked together, most of the fashion brands where I buy clothes or maybe shoes, and they don't post organically. They just started with ads, and 5 years down the line, they have over 50k followers. They never ran a Facebook fan page kind of a campaign. They just started posting organic, and then they just boosted a post. So followers just came in, maybe from some who bought and some maybe who liked the content or maybe the products and services they were offering. So they just have to be calculative. But from my point of view is they need to mix both organic and promoted kind of content. To be able to make sales and be consistent online.
Okay, yeah, I think that's also an interesting aspect to look at it from. And now, of course, trying to understand now, maybe going deeper. So which are some of the tools businesses can use to measure these successes from different platforms, probably?
Yeah. So no one puts in money without measuring what they're getting into return. I know they are so much into stock taking, but it's also good to always stock take when it comes to digital marketing. So very important. So one, let's say they have a website. They are selling from the website. People can be able to add to cart a product and maybe check out, pay online, pay through a Pesa or maybe pay through a card. So we have what Google Analytics. Google Analytics can be able to offer those kinds of metrics and measurements and KPIs and all that. Being able to see how many people added to cart a certain product, why did they drop off at, what was the order value? Because you may get 5 customers, but maybe each customer maybe placed 10 products for each order. So that is much better than getting 20 who are placing one product. So the GA4 or the Google Analytics can be able to give you that kind of analytics, show you which products are performing better, which categories are performing better, and where are they dropping off. Because if they are adding to cart and they are dropping off at the point of paying, then your journey needs to be fixed somewhere. Then in terms of ads on Facebook, there is Meta Business Manager, which can be able to give you all the analytics, how many impressions you got. Those are the people who saw the ads, unique people who saw the ads. And then there is clicks, how many people clicked the ads, how many people maybe, did you be able to reach, how many people added to cart, rather how many people were they able to buy or maybe convert as a lead. And then of course, Google Ads, search, display and all that. You can be able to see that from the Google Ads dashboard. So that is self-explanatory. And then WhatsApp, if they're running ads to WhatsApp, they can be able to compare what they have on the ad manager versus what they have received on the WhatsApp chat. So those are some of the platforms they can be able to rely on when they're doing marketing to see how many people did reach out. But over and above that, because we're not just talking about digital, these flyers I've seen businesses giving out on the road. They have a specific number for the agent who gave you the flyer. So every time they call from the phones, from the office phone, you can be able to ask you who gave you a number, and they can be able to read from the flyer. This is Esther, this is Jane. There are others, because maybe they're running organically, they have a drop down on the form on the website, and it has an option where you can be able to fill in, where did you hear from us? Was it online? Was it through a referral? Was it through a friend? So all those are some of the points you can be able to tell, or rather check, or rather set up KPIs, and be able at the end of the month, at the end of the day, and at the end of the week, be able to tell where your money is going and are you getting money.
Okay, now there comes this scenario where there are certain business industries where probably the conversion period is normally long. Let's say like real estate,
Sure.
So how can they really interpret their success based on these different KPIs? Like, because of course they'll post, let's say someone posts a house today, they get likes, shares, but how can they really interpret their success based on their digital campaigns? Let's say someone is posting a house to rent or for sale on online platforms. How can they really interpret their success? Because you see, some of these successes or this interpretation is supposed to be maybe month over month. A monthly you need to do reporting on how you are performing. So how will you really, for such industries that their conversions are normally longer window periods?
Yeah, so I think one of the struggling industry right now in Kenya is mostly the real estate, because there are so many, and then the conversion period or the conversion funnel takes a lot of time. But mostly, the KPIs that I've seen being given to the digital marketers who are working for real estate are mostly the lead. How many leads did you be able to generate over the month? But what is so much important, I've worked with salespeople that I've been able to consult for, is that pipeline is everything. How many contacts do you have? How many people are you speaking with every single day, every single week, every single month? I would be very comfortable as a business owner when I sit you down as a salesperson and you tell me you have 20 leads, all of them, they have come and maybe did a house tour. They did a walkthrough from on the land, and they were interested and they told you they get back to you. You are still in conversation with them, what we call leads nurturing. So you are still nurturing them. So that tells me these people will come back, because for me to put in 3 million for a plot along Thika Road, or maybe put in 20 million for a house along Kilimani or wherever, it needs a lot of comparison in terms of prices, in terms of amenities. I need also to talk to friends, talk to my family. If I'm married, I need to talk to my family, the wife, the children, if they like the place. I need to factor in so many things, like schools and all that. So ideally, every month I would be looking at positive leads. The leads that have gone cold, that's okay. It happens. And then the positive leads that we're still talking, that gives me hope. And this is recurring. So maybe for the 6 months, if I'm new, I would be okay. Or rather, I'll understand this takes time. And then now as we continue, of course, I will be expecting a sale every month. Because the leads we generated in January, they should be closing maybe in April. The leads that we generated in Feb, they will be closing in June, May. So in a journey of 6 months, I'll not mind about the leads we generated in Jan, the leads that we generated in April. Why are they not closing in May? I'll be asking about leads we generated in Feb. So regarding costs, tracking leads generated, leads nurturing, very important, and pipeline is everything in real estate. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So I think the aspect of pipeline is really key, because that helps also someone to really track and the progress. And do you think it's also important for marketers to have a point where they reach a point that they drop, let's say, to drop those leads that they feel like they think they are not going to convert, or will it be a mistake? Probably sometimes there is this word we like using in marketing, ghosting. So you try reaching out to someone, they never pick your calls. They never, let's say, respond on your messages, WhatsApp, normal text. Do you think what period should you think, probably either period, or what should inform a marketer? At what point should you now drop this lead and focus on others?
At what point I manage salespeople, and I used to work with 4 follow-ups. But now again, I would ask, like, these 4 follow-ups, they're taking how long? Are you maybe following up with today, Kesho, 4 days, non-stop? Or are you doing it on weekly? It depends on the business. So if I'm into real estate, I know people can take 4 months. So I would follow up with 3 to 6 months. And if there is nothing coming through, then I would confirm that's a lead gone cold. So it depends with the products you're selling. But what I know about real estate, it can take 3, 6 to 1 year, depending on the cost of the land or the house. Yeah. But also, salespeople are psychologists.
Yes.
You can know someone who is ghosting you. You can know a serious customer.
So
you learn on the job.
You should have bit involve some psychological understanding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so in a nutshell, how would you could you break down, how will you explain or how will you measure the success, the ROI, let me say, return on investment of, let's say, you can give an example of a campaign either on Meta or both on Meta and Google. Yeah, in just how we'll break it down easily for now we are interpreting to a business owner as a marketer. Now trying to make them understand the return on investment on a particular campaign.
So that starts with the campaign objective. What are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to achieve awareness? Because if you tell me we are trying to achieve awareness and maybe the asset was a video, I'll talk about video views. I'll talk about how many people watched the video to 100%, so that if the video was bad, then it's a problem with the creative. I'll talk about the impressions, how many people saw, the ads, and I also talk about CPM, what is the cost and what's the cost for the CPV. So the lower the better. That shows there is good optimization of that ad. If we are talking about conversion, I take it in two ways. So if in e-commerce, that is cost per sale. There's nothing like lead generation. So one thing I like about e-commerce, and that's why most of the digital marketers come from an e-commerce background, is that there's no much stories online. It's either you sold or you didn't sell.
It's straight.
It is straight. So I look at the sales generated and what was the cost per sale.
What was the cost per sale? Yeah.
So if I use 3,000 USD in marketing for that month, and then we sold 10 products, I just take the whole figure, divide by the 10 products, then I get how much did we spend, and then of course I'll add the cost of your salary, the cost of operation, whatnot, packaging, site, and all that, to get the cost per sale. And then when it comes to lead generation, also for real estate, law firms, and all that, I look at the cost per lead, and then look at the cost per sale, another cost per conversion. Look at how many people did we talk to or inquire, how many people did we reach out, and then from those people, how many people do we be able to convert? Mostly it's 3%, that's the standard industry benchmark. But mostly that works for well-developed countries where everything is seamless. In Kenya, it's about 1%. So one thing I do is that I'm always honest with brands. It's between 1% to 3%. They can work backwards.
Now, just in brief, how do we reduce cost per acquisition? CPA is normally a nightmare to many marketers. So how do you actually reduce? Because the moment you're reducing cost per CPA means you're maximizing on your return on investment.
So it all runs down to what we call content, and they say that content is king. Because however much I'm a good media buyer, if what we had as communication wasn't that good, wasn't that appealing, wasn't that convincing, we may not be able to get all other reward out of the cost per sale. The other thing, they talk a lot of things to do with e-commerce is what we say, what we see versus what we receive. People had different experiences buying online, where the cup you're using here, on the photo, the image looks like a 1 liter, but what you deliver, it's something small 300 ml or less. So one is increasing trust for your business, that they see any ad, they're able to place an order, or rather they will be comfortable doing it, placing 3 or 4. And then number 2, the content that you're sharing out there, make sure that it's catchy, it's engaging, and it's something that's convincing for someone to be able to buy. And of course your own targeting, because you can't be able to, I'm not looking for a car right now and then you're just showing me the cars. So targeting is also key in terms of what you are selling. I give you an example with the salon. At one time, I marketed for salon when I was an amateur, and I had a budget of $100, and then I had to target the whole Nairobi. But I did forget
mass
that.
market.
Yeah, someone cannot travel 50 kilometers to come to your salon.
Your barber shop. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the things very important in terms of targeting, and of course the content that you're sharing. Content is king, and of course building trust with your customers and your prospects.
All right. Now that brings us to another interesting aspect of which are some of those mistakes that marketers or businesses do when measuring their campaigns, and how can they avoid?
A lot. Over 1,000 of them. One, wrong objectives. Sorry to say, but I worked in a Chinese company at some point when I was starting up, and the KPIs that I had as a social media manager was following. It was just following.
To get followers.
That was my only target. That was the whole objective. So they tell you at the start of the month, we need 1,000 followers.
Okay.
That's the whole KPI. So objectives and wrong KPIs, wrong objectives about the campaign. So I've seen that a lot. And then the other thing is, of course, wrong targeting. Budgets that are not enough. Like you can't be selling land of 5 million, and then what you're giving out for marketing is 20K a whole month. So you imagine it's about 2 million to 3 million. Land is mostly 3 times. So if I buy a plot of 1 million, I should be able to sell it at 3 million. And then you're selling a plot every month, and the budget that you're dedicating for marketing, it's 100K. So I always give people with an example. Okay, let me not mention Co, but I think their marketing budget, last time I researched, was about 40% of what they get as profit. If you tell that to Joguna and Son, spend 40% of what you're getting.
Of what you're getting. Actually, for me, I always thought it's like, should be at least 20%.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So budgets and KPIs are not aligned. Goals are not aligned. Objectives are wrong. And of course, the assets, the comms, the communications materials are also wrong. They're not communicating the value proposition. They're just selling. They're not communicating the value. So that's also another aspect that I have seen with the different SMEs and businesses so far.
Okay, I think you have a lot, but for today, let's leave it there. Now, finally, in 5 seconds, Google Ads or Meta Ads? Or what's your opinion about it? Because sometimes you get business asking, should I invest in Google Ads or should I go for Meta Ads? So which one, or what's your opinion about it?
I think last I checked, active users in Kenya on Meta was about 15 million there. And then on Google was about 9